Alright everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So today we're going to talk about how Navy kills Army. Worms, that is. So if you look at your potatoes, or anything really, and you see that you have stuff like this, or basically your plants are getting turned into lace. Alright, there are several different culprits that it could be. But what I have found is mine is armyworms. Now, what are armyworms, you ask? Hang on, let me find some. Alright, so that is a baby armyworm. You see the distinctive stripes, the yellow head. Alright, that is a baby armyworm, and they're everywhere. And how do you kill them? Like that. Ew! Alright, so what I'm going to do, there's a lot of people talk about a lot of different things, how to kill armyworms. Well, I'm fortunate in that I have a lot of time, being retired and all. So rather than trying to use chemicals and stuff like that, which I really don't want to do here, I try not to use any chemicals whatsoever. Like I said, it's more of a pride thing than anything else. I just don't want to have a bunch of stuff that I can't even pronounce put on the food that I eat. And I'm trying to be more sustainable. Alright, if I don't use chemicals, that means I don't have to go buy chemicals, which means they don't have to ship me chemicals, yada yada, so on and so forth. But the bottom line is, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the plants and I am going to kill them. Now how do we do that, you say? So here in my potato patch, I'm pretty sure I can find a bunch. So what I do is I start at the top and start working my way down. And then when I look up underneath each leaf, and it seems to me like most of them are hanging out up underneath the mid to low level branches. Like, look right here. There's one right there. See him? So I take him, squish him between my fingers, and move on. Alright. Now you can wear gloves for this. And I read somewhere, somebody says, don't squish the armyworms. I'm like, why? I don't understand. So I just do this, and I go through and I try and find any and all worms that might be on the plant. They'll usually be up underneath, but you want to check the tops as well. And apparently if you really want to get motivated, you can come out here at night with a flashlight. There's another one right there. This one's a little greener. Alright. Squish. Killing the army. My brother is Army. I am Navy. And that's one reason why I talk smack about the Army all the time. Now, so you're saying to yourself, Self, how effective is this going to be? You know, you've only killed 3 now. So if you do that, that's just a drop in the bucket. Well, so the thing is, each armyworm can turn into a caterpillar. Or a moth, rather. I'm sorry, not a caterpillar. They're already a caterpillar. So each armyworm can turn into a moth, and each moth can lay up to 2,000 eggs, like 3 times a year, sometimes as many as 6 times a year, from what I've read in my research. So every time I kill an armyworm, I'm potentially killing as many as 2,000 baby armyworms. So it's kind of like anything else. Like in a real war, what ends up happening is a war of attrition. Alright, you come with 1,000,000 troops and I got 1,000,000 troops, and we kill each other off until one of us says, you know what, I don't have any troops left. Kind of the same thing is going to happen here. I'm going to have to kill a little bit at a time, and keep killing to lower that population. Now there are natural predators for armyworms, and I don't use any kind of bug spray. And one of the reasons I don't want to use any bug spray of any sort, or any kind of bug killer, or insecticide as you call it, is that if I do, then what happens is the population can get out of balance. More than likely, the reason I have such an infestation is because the predators haven't come back yet. Now, it's been about 3 years, 4 years maybe, since I stopped using pesticides here, but it takes a while for that balance to reestablish itself. So what I'm doing is I'm knocking down the population so that hopefully the predators will be able to, basically their population will increase to the point where we reach a balance. Okay, so you got armyworms. My recommendation is to go through with your fingers. Spend, like I did all this section over here. It took me probably an hour and a half to do that. Okay, if you've got the time, particularly if you've got a smaller garden, then by all means go through it, search through your plants, and try and kill as many as you can. All right. Hopefully that will knock down the population to the point where between the natural defenses of the plant and the natural predators for these worms, my population will diminish to the point where it will no longer be a huge problem for me. I've always had a huge issue with chard. Trying to grow chard. Alright, and I went out here today. I did find 2 of them little triangular bugs. I'll have to look them up, but they were in here also, but there was probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 armyworms up underneath here. Now the chard, because I have less of it, I will probably come out at night here in the near future and try to knock them down a little bit more if I find any. All right. One of the other things I heard online was that healthy plants tend to have less of a problem with armyworms, and I believe that's true. You know, healthier plants have better defenses and will grow back quicker. But these are pretty healthy plants, and yet they're still getting knocked down. So, you know, one of the things I'm also going to do is I'm going to come through, I'm going to put compost down and try and get a little bit more life back into the plants. Even though this is really good soil, and it's been growing really well so far. We've done a lot of harvesting out of here. The chard has actually been doing well until here in the last week or so. It looks like somebody's been out here with a shotgun, you know, shooting holes in my chard. All right, so got armyworms? Kill them. Thanks once again for stopping by. Do me a favor and like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. And above all else, grow something.